Hello, welcome to Chandwell, and this very short update about what I've been doing in July. I haven't done much this month because I've been busy on other things, so it won't take long to show you what I've been up to. So if you've been watching previous episodes, you'll have seen that I finished this 13th century bridge based upon one near where I live in Otley in West Yorkshire. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. As the glue dried, it's not quite level, it bends ever so slightly, which means it doesn't fully fit down to the baseboard. But that'll be easy. Once it's time to glue it down, I will just glue it down and keep it weighted and it'll be fine. It's no trouble there. I'm really impressed with the effect of the road going off into the distance. If you haven't seen that video, go and watch it because the effect that I've managed to get here has worked really well. I'm really pleased with it. The back scene that I also did at the same time, I'm not entirely happy with. If you watched that video, you'll have seen I just blue tacked it to the wall, which was a mistake because it's quite heavy, and you can see that no matter how many times I push this up, it's dropping down. The actual back scene itself is dropping off, and it's leaving big blobs of horrible blue tack. And the white lines that I haven't tried to get rid of yet are really quite alarming and ruin the effect somewhat. Now Stephen and Elvenholm gave me a great technique to try to get rid of those lines, which is to use watercolours to do that. I haven't quite done that yet, partly because I don't have any watercolours right now, but also there's something about the back scene that I just don't quite like. It looks alright when you see a train going past it, like this one I'm about to show you, but although I took it on from photographs, it almost looks like a child's drawing, if you like. The colours are too crisp or the colours are too bright. I'm not sure what it is. The background, which I desaturated, works okay, but I'm not entirely convinced that I've got it right with the 3D effect, so I'm leaving that alone for a little bit and I'll mull it over. I also did this second of my Inkscape videos, which is quite a long one. It's actually the longest video I've put on YouTube, at just over half an hour. And that is to answer some of the questions that you added to my previous Inkscape videos. It goes into quite a lot of detail. It's not a video for everyone, but if you are interested, go and have a look at it. I've started episode 3 in that series as well, which is where I'm going to do step by step a scratch build for this part of the layout. Now, this part of the layout is going to be between two roads. We've got the road that goes over the bridge here, and we've got the main street, which will go under the wide arch here. So down here and round this corner is going to be a kind of a high street, lots of, more upmarket shops, that kind of thing, big old commercial buildings. But over on this side, I want this to be really run down, grungy, old, dilapidated, industrial style buildings, and I need it to transition forward to back. Now, if you watched the Inkscape video, you'll have seen some screenshots from Google Maps that I added to show the mill that I was going to put here. There's a lovely mill near Bradford Forster Square, and I go past it quite a lot. I've always thought I'd like to make it. So I did a mock-up in Inkscape and printed it just onto normal A4 paper. I didn't even bother sticking it to card, just to see what it would look like. And when that's placed on the layout, either here or this way, and bearing in mind there's going to be a river here, so I can't come too far this way. When I put that on the layout, I suddenly realised it's just far too big for this part of the layout. Not only does it completely hide the viaduct, it dwarfs the viaduct, but I want the viaduct to be the dominant feature. It also doesn't have as much space at the back for the commercial street. So I don't think that's going to work. So I'm going to leave that. If we actually put it on this side of the Iron Arch Bridge though, and we look down the route of what will be the river, that is going to look like a really nice riverside building. So I've kept the designs in Inkscape for future reference, but for now I'm going to leave that. So about a year ago, I spent some time with my good friend Simon looking around Sheffield, where he lives, and we went down some old streets of this style, and I remember seeing this building, which I'll show you a picture of from Google again, and I thought something like that might be better. So I've gone back to Inkscape and I've come up with this. It's a slightly shortened version of that building, but considering it's got garage access or vehicular access down the middle, I think this is going to be perfect to put here. So this is just the right size to fit on this part of the road. Obviously it'll be up at that height, and it's got the extended bit at the back as well, and I think that'll go really well. So if that is there, we're going to have some kind of yard at the back, some kind of road access maybe through this middle arch, and then that gives plenty of space for the high street as well, and something interesting here. I'm thinking about a really old wall, a dilapidated old dirty wall down to river level, with this wall just sitting on top of it. I'm actually going to move the extended bit, so the fatter part of the building, to this side, which will give a nice yard kind of space on that side of the arch. So that's where I am. I'm taking my time to record every single step of this build in Inkscape. So I've started with this paper mock-up. I'll move on to a card mock-up and then start building it itself. So I imagine it'll take 2 or possibly 3 episodes in my Inkscape series to build that, but I'll go through it step by step by step, from the very beginning right through to the end. I'm going to do it a little bit differently this time. I'm not going to use the Scale Scenes texture papers, I don't think. I think I'm going to download my own textures from textures.com, and also do some of my own weathering in Inkscape as well. So that's what I'm on with at the moment. I think that'll fit really nicely. And interestingly, when we take some of the other buildings that are half complete and start arranging them around this road, although they're only paper and not complete, you really start to get the feel of what this part of the layout will look like. I want it to be packed with buildings. I want them to be all over the place, as if it's grown up over hundreds of years, and the railway just threads its way through them. So I think it's going to look good. I'm really pleased with how we're going. Like I said, things have slowed down. I think they'll get even slower in August, what with working commitments and family and the end of lockdown and everything like that. I'm most of all looking forward to the end of my lockdown hairstyle, so I've got that to look forward to in a week as well. And that's it. So that is what I've been up to in July. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't by pressing the Class 47 logo, and also there's another couple of videos there which you might be interested in looking at. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.